Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more variable Barricade. And Sabuki's about to come and analyze our boyfriends, so this ought to be good. And then hopefully, in true best friend fashion, she's gonna be like, perfect one for you is Kasuga, right? Absolutely, I agree. Anyway, so Samugi will be here any minute. Kasuga, is the tea prepared?
Yes, miss. I've already set out Miss Kano's preferred blend.
Make certain there's an extra chair for her. Oh, and set out a pair of slippers, too. And then I finished doling out instructions, then sighed and turned to the four men lounging on the couches. As for you lot... What, us? Who else would I be talking to? My friend's coming for a visit today. Make absolutely certain you do nothing. And I mean nothing! Weird to her. Weird? Weird how? Oh, that's right. I was going to show Samugi a book I found. I best go get it right away. Turning my back on them, I went back to preparing for Samugi's arrival. Weird, like, stuffing her head in your fucking stank helmet. Anyway. I was putting a few more things in order in my rooms when I paused, struck by a sudden sense of unease. Was it really wise to allow Samugi to meet all four of them? There was no telling what that pack would do, and Samugi had a far more intense personality than one would guess simply from looking at her. This wasn't a bad idea, was it? Oh no, I'm sure it's a goddamn amazing idea. No, it was too late to think about it now. Samugi was already on her way over. And besides, I was honestly overjoyed that she was coming for a visit. There was little better way to spend a weekend than sipping tea and chatting while nibbling on sweets. I had to make sure everything was perfect. I had to, even though it was utterly unlikely the day would segue into a nice, uneventful weekend.
Spacey is so excited, as she's been puttering about since first thing this morning.
For girls her age, gossiping with a friend is a favored pastime. She's probably happy that she'll get to spend the whole day chatting. It's also... Okay, so you know what? I forgot for a minute that you're almost 10 years older than us, and now you just brought the creep back up. Like, for girls her age. Stop it.
Wow, all day? There's actually a person out there with Spacey would be happy to talk with for hours and hours? I wonder what she's like.
Yeah, but doesn't she see this chick at school every day? Why the fuss over her coming here?
The bustle is simply a sign of how precious a friend Miss Kano is to her. Normally, Miss Spacey avoids interpersonal contact, but she gladly spends private time with Miss Kano. That's how close the two of them are.
A pal the lady thinks that highly of, eh? Now I'm curious. If she's important to Spacey, then she's doubly important to me. We'll have to make sure that she feels welcome and comfortable here.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to make her feel welcome too. I'll pour her drinks, get her snacks, massage her shoulders, even set up blankets for a midday nap. Now you don't go overboard and frighten the poor lady. I'll do my personal best to assist as well. Do you think she'd like a conversation partner? Provided you have the luxury of choice.
What do you mean?
Gentlemen, consider this a warning. Underestimate Miss Kano at your peril. Take her lightly, and she'll chew you up.
We have really good friends, because we have, like, frickin' Samugi who comes over. I'm so cute, I will fucking rip you a new one! And then you have Kasuga who just, like, gives them a look and they're all cowards. Like, I'm just saying, these two are impressive. I just finished putting the last few things in order when my phone vibrated in my pocket.
I'll arrive shortly. I'm very much looking forward to meeting everyone.
For some reason, I could see Samugi grinning as she typed the message I was reading. No, it would be fine. I ignored my growing unease and went to meet her at the door. Nothing ever goes fine if we've learned anything from this game so far, so this is going to be fun. You were like, a nice barbecue turned into a shit show, so this is going to be awesome.
Good day, Madam Spacey.
As Samugi stepped out of a modest limousine, I couldn't help but grimace. She was not wearing her usual school attire. Oh no. She was in something entirely different. I can't wait. Oh! Yes! Girl, I fucking love it! I did not expect this! Oh, I am here for it! Oh! God! Damn! She's just channeling the inner goth that we all have. Okay, this is like freaking like Regency goth or some shit. Not the Regency period, because that was more like Empire ways to dress, like Victorian era, whatever. This is like Victorian goth. I am here for this. I love this. I want to walk around in a dress like this. I actually always wanted like freaking the giant the skirts with like the bustles and everything, like just like a huge fucking trait, but more like a jacket. So then you got like pants, but it's gonna be blue velvet. I got the whole thing in my head that I'm like, I need someone to make this for me, and I would rock the fuck out of that. That's why I love, if you know me, I love my duster coats, especially like the long extravagant ones that are just like billowing skirts, and you're like, I look like I'm wearing a gown, but it's a duster coat, but I don't even give a shit. I always like got duster coats like back in the heyday when they had them. And, like, now, like, Unique Vintage just has some that you are like, this is, like, over the top, and I'm here for it. Like, it is glorious. So, yeah. So, yeah, no, I'm here for this outfit. I love it. Oh, my God. Her earrings have spiders on them. Anyway. A lavishly designed and exceptionally frilly black gothic Lolita dress, complete with black lace parasol. That's, like, more than just Lolita, because, like, that's, like, gown. I love this. I should have expected as much. Look at this shit. Would you consider that gothic Lolita? Maybe. I just feel like it's, well, I've seen like Lolita style, but I've seen more like the sweet Lolita kind of stuff where it's like very cute and frilly and like even the gothic Lolita stuff I've seen, because obviously I don't know too much about it, has still been in the like, yes, you still have like the collars and the dresses, but it's a little more than like this. This is like to like the sexier edge of it. Not like the, here's my big, like, I'm still wearing the floofy dresses and the cute shoes and the stockings and all the things, but it just happens to be black instead of like pink and shit. This is like a sexy edge to it. I would absolutely see, I couldn't wear like Lolita clothing because it's just, it doesn't work for my body type. Like, and I just would feel like a poser. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable in it. I wouldn't feel like myself. Like, sure, I could like, oh yeah, someone could dress me up and it's cool and I had fun, but like, I wouldn't feel like myself because that's just not me. But I could wear the fuck out of this because I don't think of this as like, I mean, it might be still in the gothic Lolita range, but it's definitely a little more on the like she might have a whip under that skirt. Like, there's a little bit extra on this. This is just, you know, I don't know. And the top hat. Fuck yeah, I got a lot of top hats. So yeah, no, Samugi, girl. Okay, all I want, can we ever be an MC that's like this? Can we just have a whole new game where we're Samugi? Because I want this. Like, we're always very like girly. And we have our pretty little dresses or our cute skirts or whatever. I want a little over the top. I want to be this. I want to be Samugi. Like, I want to be the slightly crazy, a little over the top. Not, we're wearing cute dresses and we're cutesy. No, I want to be like she's cute. Like, she's cutesy. Like, she's sweet and innocent, but she's like, I have a whip under my dress and I'm going to kick your ass. You know, every once in a while, when you're feeling negative, I don't know about you, I'm always like, why am I like a side character and someone else is like, I don't feel like the main character in my own life, you know? They're like, this is my life. I'm like, no, I'm just a fucking side character. I'm here for someone else's amusement. Like, I don't actually have my own story. I always feel like a side character. But then there's moments like this where you're like, you know, being a side character ain't so bad because we get to be the weirdos. Like, the main character has to be like, I am the main character and I have to be cute. Like, nuh-uh, we can be crazy AF. And we can walk around town dressed like this. And you know what? Being a side character, not so bad. It's not so bad. Anyway.
Indeed, I am, at heart, a gothic Lolita after all.
I fucking love her so much. Smoogie smiled innocently and twirled her parasol.
Now, I presume the gentlemen of the hour are inside?
Yes, they ought to be waiting in the living room.
I can hardly contain myself.
Her cute smile sharpened ever so slightly. Not that it was about to give voice to my observation. Fighting back my ballooning dread, I slowly opened the door to the foyer. Ugh.
Welcome, Miss Kono. It's lovely to see you.
Kasuga, I'm terribly sorry for the intrusion. Tsumugi politely greeted Kasuga and then turned to the four men, her shark-like smile still in place. I love this. They're gonna be like, what the fuck? Oh! I can't. I love her outfit. I just want an MC to dress like this.
It's a pleasure to meet you, gentlemen. I am Tsumugi Kano. I hope you'll do me the honor of remembering me.
I think you're hard to forget, Tsumugi. Taiga Isurugi. Isurugi, yeah, sorry. That's, some outfit you got there.
Why, thank you. What a lovely compliment.
I'm Nayuta Yagami, and, you look like a princess.
Oh, thank you. You're an interesting person, Yagami.
It's an honor to make your acquaintance, Tsumugi. My name is Ichiya Mitsumori. That dress suits you as if it were made for you alone. I'm sure it's honored to be worn by someone as lovely as you. I'd expect no less of Spacey's closest friend. Okay, I gotta give him points because she rolled in here and everyone was like, what? And Taiga's like, the fuck? And Naruto didn't know what to do. And Ichiya's just like, you look marvelous. That dress looks as if it was made for you. You are splendid. He is on the ball right now.
Thank you. It must have been time-consuming to go to the bookstore and fish those compliments from manga.
And yet she clapped fucking back.
Hello, Tsumugi. I'm Shion Mayazumi. I must say, your gothic Lolita dress is quite elaborately designed, particularly about the decolletage.
Decolletage? Is that what it is? I can never fucking pronounce that.
Oh my, you're familiar with goth lolly styles. There are quite a few passionate fans of the fashion in France. Indeed, I hear many Lolita styles besides just the gothic are popular. Yes, there are so many styles. Gothic Lolita, sweet Lolita, classic Lolita. The charms of Lolita fashions are endless, simply endless.
There really are a lot. There's a lot. Isn't there like an Alice Lolita where it's basically like Alice in Wonderland kind of thing? I don't know, there's just a lot. And some of the dresses are really fucking cute, don't get me wrong. I've seen some and I'm like, ugh. And I do feel like you could actually get some of the dresses because like a lot of them, when they're made, like they're like the jumper dresses where like thin straps, whatever. And then, okay, you put your fancy shirt on underneath and whatever. It's like, you could just wear that with like a cardigan and a belt. Like you could like totally take it out of and not make it Lolita. You know what I mean? Like, just like you could take some kind of retro vintagey kind of dresses and kind of mix them in. It's usually the prints and the patterns, but sometimes like Lolita dresses have really good motherfucking prints. You're like, why? They're so fun! I want that fabric on just like pants. Well, I don't really wear pants except for my black milk pants because like pants don't fit me right, but like I want them on like a pencil skirt. I want to be pencil Lolita. I'm just eclectic clutter bitch, so yeah.
As for me, I have a weakness for the exquisite balance of naughty and nice that defines the gothic style and elevates it above any other Lolita.
Well, yes, because the nice is she's definitely on the naughty side. And I think the only version of gothic Lolita I've really seen is the nice. Like, it's still cute. It's not like this. Like this, she's like more like, girl, this is borderline sexy. And I like it. I could rock this. I would feel at home in that. The slightly naughtier side. without it being, like, inappropriate. You know what I mean? She's showing her shoulders, for fuck's sake. That's it. Samugi, I think that's enough of that for now.
Oh, goodness. I'm so sorry. I got carried away.
Plus the top hat. Samugi coyly put her hand over her mouth and giggled. Well then, ladies, if you would please have a seat. We've fragrant tea and delicious sweets, so what say we have ourselves a lovely tea party? He punctuated his offer with his trademark wink. Of course, I sighed in exasperation and stole a quick glance at Samugi beside me. I hope we get a CG with her in this outfit. I want to see the full thing. She wore her irritation on her face. I was surprised she didn't exclaim at how terrible Ichiya sounded. I think she, like, is not, like, even fun. She's like, I don't like this. Samugi was born into a bloodline of master flower arrangers. She is the family's sole heir. I finally gave Samugi her overdue proper introduction as we sat on the sofa. She smiled and shook her head.
Being a sole heir sounds impressive and dramatic, but truthfully, my life is filled with unexciting duties.
And still, it means that one day you'll be headmistress of the family, right? The Kano school of Ikebana is famous in the world of flower arranging, I hear. Ikebana, yeah.
Wait, she's world famous? Wow, Samugi, I didn't know you were that amazing.
No surprise she's friends with someone like you, babe.
I had the privilege of seeing a Kano school Ikebana exhibit in Paris. The flowers' vibrancy was unreal. My, what a wonderful compliment! If you've interest in flowers, I'd be honored if you'd view our exhibits again.
Samugi smiled elegantly, and Shion returned it with a politely beautiful smile of his own.
I could expect no less of the gentleman who proposed in such a splashy fashion. All of you have such unique personalities.
Like, thank you! And she's like, it wasn't a compliment. Huh? See what I mean? Like, Ichiya shows up blue, Taiga's pink, and Nayuta's green now because they're all together. But when they're separate, they're all just blue. I don't like that. I kind of just wish they had their colors, like, associated. Like, so when Taiga shows up, he wouldn't just be blue. He would always be pink because that's his associated color. It would just make it easier to then see the color and know who's talking instead of having to, like... Because, like... I mean, obviously, if Taiga's on the screen, I assume it's him. But if Taiga and Ichiya were on the screen and it was blue, I'm like, wait, okay, it's Taiga. Like, I'd have to pay a little bit more attention to the name up there instead of just, you see the color and you just know, you know? See, like, Shion should be yellow, but he's blue. They're always blue when they're on their own. It's weird. I don't know why they did that. Anyway, it was a choice, and it was the wrong one.
What? Didn't you notice? Samugi was standing right next to Spacey that day.
Really? And here I thought this was the first we'd met. I must have been more enraptured than I thought by the glitter of Spacey's eye.
Wow! I didn't notice you there at all. Boy, I'm sorry. Now I'm all embarrassed.
Oops. Sorry. I was kind of preoccupied at the time.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Not with how many people had gathered there. I'm glad I had the chance to watch such the spectacle. It livened up my day. I've since heard so much about you all, and about the friction you generate together, about the unique and often inexplicable things you've all done, and more. I've been ever so excited for the opportunity to meet you all in person.
Securing Samugi's sincere smile, Nayuta leaned forward, fidgeting with barely restrained curiosity.
Did she maybe tell you about me? What kinds of stuff did she, say?
Surely she mentioned me, right? About how delicious my cooking is and how I greet her with care every morning. Did she happen to say how she feels about me? Both men were extremely interested and not even trying to hide it. Samugi gave them a conspiratorial smile.
Oh, you can bet your names came up once or twice.
Samugi! Panicking, I tried to stop her, but she ignored me.
I've heard so much about the two of you as well, Mr. Isurugi, Mr. Mayazumi.
Samugi! No! Yeah, and it was nothing but compliments, right? Oh, nothing but complaints, right? About how loud we are and how annoying. She lets us know that herself every day. But it's true! I glared over at Taiga, which he pointedly ignored. Shion spoke up next. He was clearly enjoying himself.
Well, and now that you've met us in person, how do we compare to the stories you've heard? What, if anything, is different? An excellent question!
Tsumugi's tone was pensive. She folded her hands in her lap with very deliberate movements. Before I answer, might I ask you gentlemen a question of my own first? What was your first impression of her? And now that you live with her, how has that impression changed? I'm highly curious about what you think. Tsumugi, I really think Tsumugi is actually our dead grandmother. She's a witch. And she turned Nayuta from a dog into a human. And she's here and she really just wants us to fall in love with our butler. Look, I don't really think there's magic involved or Nayuta's actually a dog or we're in a coma somewhere. But I really do, I'm 99% on the we're gonna marry Kasuga. And if we don't, I'm gonna be sad. That's my actual, fan theory, or the rest of it's just bullshit that's kind of fun to think about. Is there a problem? The chill in Tsumugi's smile stopped me in my tracks, and I quietly retracted my statement. She's in full-on insufferable busybody-in-law mode. Satisfied, she nodded and turned back to the boys. If I could ask you that first, Mr. Mitsumori. And to think I get to be up first at the plate. Sure thing. I've always been happy to talk about her. Now, where do I begin? Ichiya stroked his chin and struck a pose. My first impression was that she was a cool and aloof beauty, an ice queen, and that's still what I think, honestly. She is perfection incarnate. She's a precious princess, an irreplaceable treasure, and she was born to be my bride, I'm sure of it. My! For all the words that came out of your mouth, I'm shocked at how very useless they were. There wasn't a single point of value in that whole spiel. I love her. Huh? Wait, but Next, Mr. Isarugi? When Tsumugi looked over at Taiga, he made an exaggerated show of rolling his eyes. I thought she was a stuck-up rich girl. Now that we've talked, I see I was wrong. She's worse than that. Ugh! I can't believe him! Oh, Mr. Isarugi, you have so much yet to learn. Her attitude's one of her cutest attributes. You'll miss out on so much if you don't pay closer attention. Wait, miss out? And what of you, Mr. Mayuzumi? Shion smiled and tilted his head, thinking, I thought she was an adorable girl, and that perhaps she might require my company. I still think she's quite adorable, even more so than when we first met, and I know for certain that if I had her, she'd be a perfect complement to my beauty. Tsumugi grimaced, momentarily shocked into silence by Shion's bold proclamation. After a moment, she said, I agree with you on the cute part. That's it. Oh, last time it's me, right? Nayuta raised his hand, wiggling in his seat. Tsumugi simply nodded at him. The look on her face is like, no, honey. My first impression of Spacey was that she was super beautiful and pretty and sparkly and stuff. I hope she'd scold me lots, grind me under her heel. Grind you under her? But she doesn't scold me nearly as much as I hope she would. I bet she's still just shy, though. I'm ready to squirm under her heel at a moment's notice. I fucking love that this is his weird kink and he keeps bringing it up. It throws me off every time. I see her quite unhinged. The look on Smokey's face. Everything about this. I see you're quite unhinged. It's true, but it's so funny. Having heard all four answers, Tsumugi crossed her arms and hummed in thought. Gentlemen, your impressions are shockingly superficial. You've barely begun to even scratch the surface. All four men dropped their gaze. Some even had the grace to look abashed. None of them said a word. However, I'm well aware of just how difficult it is to truly understand her. You wouldn't believe the effort it took for me to actually befriend her. Difficult to understand? Oh, I mean, how you're actually a shy, sensitive, and terribly adorable person under all your layers. What is that supposed to mean? Mercy, like that. Oh, be still my heart. Tsumugi, are you kind of hitting on me a little? Because I might be okay with that too. Wait, is the true end that we're in a throuple with Tsumugi and Kasuga? Normally I'm like, I don't want, like a girl romance route, because I'm just not into it, but, I mean, if we get Tsumugi and Kasuga, I might be okay with that. That could be okay. Like, Tsumugi! Hey, guys. Is it me or is the lady acting real different? She's not nearly as frosty as usual.
I noticed it too. She's even a bit different than when she was with that butler of hers.
You're right. I can see her sweet beauty radiating even more strongly than before. I love how he looks so like he blushes at this fucking bullshit he spews. Not that I mind when she's all frosty and mean, but this is nice too. Really nice. Now we know how she is when she's blushy and stuff. Blushy? The four of them muttered amongst themselves that, I mean, it really is like they're like, are we sure we be here? Because she's getting really blushy. This is so bonkers. We are absolutely trying to avoid falling in love with them, and we're like over here blushing with fucking Tsumugi, having flirty romance moments with Kasuga. I'm sorry. These four need not apply. We got a throuple over here. Like, Tsumugi and Kasuga might not, like, be interested in each other, but, like, I'm in the middle of this love triangle, and it's like, it's okay. I got a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and I'm good. Who knew? God, that'd be the funniest true ending ever. Ichi and Nayuta, their eyes gleaming, sidled up to Tsumugi, who was still smiling pleasantly. Excuse me. Hi. I want to see more blushy stuff from Spacey. What do I have to do to get her to act like this more often? Could you teach me, please? Yes, I'd love to know the techniques you use, too. What stratagem should I employ to win her heart?
I wouldn't mind hearing about it either, I suppose. It might prove useful at some point. My. However shall I respond to these, please?
Tsumugi made a dramatic show of sounding uncertain, and then turned to me, a bright smile on her face. You just have to be me and wear this outfit. Pretty much, I guess. Don't you dare! Tsumugi! I shot a glare at Tsumugi, which she ignored. Seeing that, even Taiga decided to get in on the act. He leaned forward, a smirk on his face. Oh yeah, well. So we're talking about the lady's weak point, eh? I might be interested in that. Tsumugi's grin only grew deeper. Oh, decisions. I speak from experience when I say it could take years, decades even, to capture her heart without the aid of advice. I might be convinced to part with some suggestions. The four men grinned at each other like fools, only for Tsumugi to promptly dash their hopes. But I'll leave you beat me in a little game first. A game? I stared at her in shock. Taiga's grin widened. So you want to make a bet, huh? Interesting. Count me in. You can include me too, of course. Don't worry, Spacey. I'll soon win the key to the lock that shuttered your heart.
I suppose I might participate as well. I'm quite curious to learn more about you, Spacey.
Oh, I want to play too! What kind of game is it going to be? Tennis? Soccer? Basketball? Fetch? I'll play anything!
Let's begin with a few simple card games. Would you care to join us, Spacey?
Tsumugi's smile was the picture of innocence. I sighed and shook my head. She's a motherfucking card shark. I love her so much. Look, she's not going to steal my heart from Kasuga. But she might be like second. I don't know if the boys can like live up to her. I don't know. Now, do I have like a girl crush on you? Like you were like my bestie and that's why I love you, or like I'm a little turned on. I don't know. No, thank you. Come on, babe. Quit being so chicken. Taiga's needling didn't bother me. They were all about to learn a hard lesson about Tsumugi. I declined for a reason. A very good reason.
Well then, why don't we warm up with a round or two of Old Maid? Does everyone have their cards?
Everyone nodded. And so the card game battle began. I need a CG of fucking Tsumugi whipping their fucking asses in cards and them all being like, ah! I need it. I only have 2 cards left. I've got this round in the bag.
Ichiya, it only makes you look more pathetic when you lose after boasting like that. I only have 2 cards left too, you know.
Draw 4! Skip! Reverse! Draw 4! We playing Uno?
Ha! Both of you had better watch it. In the brutal world of Old Maid, the cockiest dudes are the first to lose their shirts.
Are we playing Strip Old Maid?
I'm gonna try to win too. Nayuta has all the cards.
Wait, the one with the most cards doesn't win? At this point, Tsumugi had 15 cards. Anyone would presume she was losing. But I knew better. I could see her little smirk growing as she watched the four men bicker amongst themselves. Oh god. Why isn't this over? I'd like to get back to my life sometime soon, thanks.
Ah, jeez. I can't hold all these cards.
There! Well, it seems I win this first round of Old Maid. Tsumugi smiled and played her last card. I could almost see the question marks orbiting the men's heads. They had every right to be confused. They hadn't even considered her a threat, but then she burst ahead and ran to the front of the pack. She discarded her cards one after another, and before they knew it, she had declared her victory. The reality of their loss was sinking in very slowly.
You're kidding me.
What just happened?
When did I get so many cards?
I mean, it's kind of like that thought, like, when you're playing a game and all of a sudden you're like, the fuck just happened? Like, literally, but for some reason, when it comes out of Nayuta's mouth, when did I get so many cards? It's actually funnier because they're all baffled. Every single one of them. What happened? What happened? And it's funny, but Nayuta makes it 10 times funnier just because he's kind of a fucking idiot. So you literally could have just handed him a stack of cards, and then he would have been like, wait, what? And he would have just totally forgot. I don't know why. Everyone's confusion. Funny. Nayuta's confusion. Fucking hilarious. I can only sigh at their confusion. This is why I declined to play. Tsumugi was insanely good at playing cards. Not only that, she loved nothing more than to utterly crush her opponents. I know how good she is, so when she offered to tell them about me if they won, I wasn't too concerned. There, have you had enough? Let's clean this up and...
Not bad. Not bad at all. Think I might have to get serious.
Yeah. You and me both, Taiga. As success comes to those who persevere, I won't give up. I'll keep trying until I surpass you, Tsumugi. Indeed, and this doesn't seem the right time to end this.
I'm not gonna lose again, am I? Wait, what?
I'm just kidding. Idiots. Seeing all four of them raring to go, Tsumugi smiled and gave them a little nod. Of course. I'll gladly play as many times as you'd like. And so they challenged her again and again and again. Slam, bluff, Napoleon, sevens, concentration.
This can't be right. I've never come across anyone this good, not even in Vegas.
Taiga slumped in defeat. He couldn't even touch Tsumugi at poker and blackjack, his two best games. Now what shall we play next? Or has everyone had enough for now? I love her so much. I love the fact that she bested them so fucking easily. See, like, we're kind of like, I like our character. She's like, oh, I'm not falling for your bullshit, like, whatever, and, like, she's cold and aloof, and I like it, but there is something about a Tsumugi character where she just comes in like, oh, okay, I'm sweet and innocent, I just whipped your fucking ass at cards, you little bitches! That I need that. I mean, I love the side characters like this, but I kind of want to be this MC. I mean, we've had sassy, spunky, like, MCs, but I just don't think we've had anyone that's quite Tsumugi's caliber. You know what I mean? Like, the men always get the best of us. Even when we're, like, cold and aloof and whatever, they always, oh, now we're blushing. Oh, I'm so awkward. When did this happen? And we always turn into kind of like a fainting violet. Okay? But I feel like a Tsumugi character would be like, ha ha ha! And then they put their lines and she's like, you know what? I kind of like you. But they would be the ones that are like, wait, what just happened? I was trying to put my best lines on you. And you're like, I know. Oh. And would always have the upper hand. She would never, ever turn into a fainting, blushing violet and be like, wait, what's happening? She'd be like, I know exactly what's happening. I'm falling in love with you. I'm going to keep control of this. And she would always have control of the situation. Always be on the fucking ball. I want to always be on the ball. I don't want them ever to get the best of me. I want them to be like, I've totally got this in the bag. And you're like, you do, but I still have the upper hand. Okay, bye. Like, yeah. Yeah. Just want that power trip, okay? I just need it. Like in reality, in like real life, there's always like somebody, they got the upper hand, you got the upper hand. It's a fluctuation. It's a shared thing, right? But no, I just want an MC and an Otome game. I want to be the MC that always has the upper hand on the men. Always. You know, and you're like, I didn't expect that he would actually make me fall for him, but he's doing it, and I like it. Okay, good for him. Let's see. And then, you know what I mean? Just not be like, what? What just happened? Be like, this is amazing. You know what I mean? Just, I don't know. You know, it's just a little something different. Just a little fucking something different. A little more spice in my life. Anyway. Well then, I think my advice will stay a secret for the time being. How unfortunate. However, I'm not entirely evil. As a sign of respect for your determination, I'll give you a hint about how to earn a sliver of her friendship. Smokey leaned forward and the others quickly followed suit. Do not lie. Do not put on airs. Be your true and honest self around her. If you can't do that, then you'll never earn her heart. Ever. All four of them gulped at the cold finality in Samugi's voice. I pray from the bottom of my heart that romance will bloom. I honestly do. So I don't consider any of you my enemy. However, on the off chance that any of you should happen to hurt her, well, I needn't say what will happen to you, do I? God, I love her. Oh God, she was scaring me. I love her so fucking much. Samugi smiled sweetly. The four men were too paralyzed by fear to even blink. Oh my, would you look at the time? I'm afraid I must take my leave. Already? Aren't you going to stay for dinner? Samugi stood, shaking her head sadly. I'd love to if I could, but just between the two of us, I'm afraid there's some drama incoming. Yeah, I think it's wiser to leave it at that. Probably. Let me walk you to your car then. No, that's all right. I can manage to find my way. Instead, she leaned in closer to whisper in my ear. I think I might have rattled them a little too much. Could you perhaps soothe them a bit? You may even plant the seeds of new romance if you do so. Smoogie! I must be on my way then. Have a lovely day, everyone! Samugi gave a polite wave and left the room, Kasuga silently following in her wake. I'm all sighing. The moment she was out of the room, all four of the men heaved a sigh and slumped down in their seats. Damn, babe, you got some incredible friends. Yeah, she seemed like she was, I don't know, invincible. And don't tell me all high school girls are like that these days. Samugi was such an interesting girl. Listening to them talk amongst themselves about their impressions made me appreciate Samugi's strength. No matter how hard I tried, how hard I rebuffed them, I barely seemed to make a dent on those four, but it was clear she had thoroughly exhausted them. They ain't lying when they say you gotta respect Kyoto women. I mean, she is from Kyoto, right? What's she doing up here in Tokyo? She has business she can only do in Tokyo, so she moved up here for school, starting in middle school. She goes back home to help over long holidays, though. I can't read. Not that I'll ever tell them that her business was cosplaying and otaku hobbies. Hey, there is nothing wrong with otaku hobbies. I gotcha. And here I figured she'd be some sheltered chick like you, babe. Seems like she's got her head screwed on good and straight. What is that supposed to mean? I glared daggers in his direction, but as usual, they just seemed to bounce off him. Man, that takes me back, you know? I started living on my own in high school. Not that I got a job, mind you. What? From high school? Well, you were 4. Oh gosh, did you run away from home? Taiga burst out laughing. Hey, what's so funny? Man, my gut hurts. How the hell could I run away from home, babe? I don't have any parents. Everybody has parents, you idiot. You wouldn't exist without them. You might not know them, and they might have died, but you had them. I was dumped in front of an orphanage soon after I was born. At least that's what I was told. That place is the only home I ever had. That explains why you're kind of like a tough douche. You know what I mean? Like, you're tough because you, like, can't let go. Because you had a tough life. You're like, I was an orphan and nobody loved me, and then you had to protect yourself. I get it. That's why he's all rough and scratchy. I was shocked speechless at how nonchalantly Tiger recounted his abandonment. And that's why he's not willing to, like, fall in love with you, because he doesn't know how to trust. It's sweet, actually. Okay. How in the world could he be so calm about something like that? Being abandoned by one's own parents is no easy thing to accept, and yet he spoke about it so easily. I'm not sure what to say. I looked around at the other three, hoping for some assistance. But they just looked back at me blankly, as if this wasn't news to them at all.
What are you so shocked for, huh? You said you did a background check on us.
Yes, but yours didn't say anything about that. Is it true? All the report had said was of unknown origin. I had no clue that's what it actually meant.
Duh. Why wouldn't it be? It's not like it's something taboo or anything. I'm not trying to hide it either. Hell, the orphanage I grew up in was pretty cool.
He smiled at me, and it didn't look fake in the least. I didn't know what to say.
But living on your own could be real expensive. My monthly maintenance bills are so high.
Maintenance bills? I never got billed for anything like that when I was living on my own. At least not regularly. I've never received such bills either. In fact, the friend who allowed me to use his home even had a home theater and boutique installed for me.
That's no regular home.
Oh? But so many homes have such amenities. It's fairly common. Spacey, are you tired? Shion looked at me after noticing I hadn't said a word. I shook my head. A heavy lump had developed in my chest, and I wasn't sure what it was. Apparently, there was still a lot about these men that I didn't know. Maybe you should get to know them. That's probably when we pick a route. Today was very entertaining. Thank you. I'm glad to hear you're satisfied with your visit.
Ugh, our boyfriend and our girlfriend fucking conspiring. I love it.
Well, do you think I did enough to keep things in check for a little while? Yes, without a doubt. Miss Spacey is blessed with extraordinary friends. Well, I'm her best friend after all. I'll gladly do anything in my power to help her. As I'm sure you would too, right, Kasuga?
Yes, fall in love with you! Please tell me they're conspiring to make me fall in love with Kasuga, and then I kind of fuck shit up when I go down the other paths.
Of course, miss. I'm glad to hear that, Kasuga. Well then, I must be on my way. Have a lovely day.
I like how he's just like, she's like, wouldn't you? And he's like silent, and she's like silent, and then he's like, yes. Oh! Welcome to the level 1 board selection. Each suitor has their own barricade board from level 1 to level 3. Here you can decide which level 1 board you want to play through first. Okay. All 4 suitors must have their level 1 boards cleared regardless of which gentleman you eventually decide to court. The board you choose here won't affect the game's ending. Oh, okay. All right. Ooh! All right, so I'm going to guess then we probably go through all of them. So this... Okay, so this says pick Nayuta on level 1 board when prompted. Okay. Go back to common on switchboard by pressing L or R. Individual barricade boards have been unlocked. Each individual board contains events specific to a certain suitor. The goal of each board is to clear the events until you reach this large icon, the board's key event. Okay. The choices you make up to the key event has a significant impact on how the story proceeds. Remember, words and actions have consequences. The final event unlocks on the board once the key event is complete. Finish the climax to clear that suitor's board for that particular level. Fully clear boards are deleted. Okay, so okay, so this says go back to common on switchboard by pressing L or R because when I met Samugi is the next thing we should do. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is what... Oh, all right, because I was wondering what that go back to the... Okay, so we're not going to do Nayuta's board. Okay, so we've got a couple... We do the When I Met Samugi, and then we're going to go to his board. Okay. When I met Samugi, my first friend, Samugi, she was very heavy-handed with her methods for breaking through to me. We're going to play this event.
Okay.
Once upon a time, in a distant land, there was a prince who had everything but was so very lonely. The prince hailed from a good family, was incredibly beautiful, and possessed a brilliant mind. He was the perfect person that everyone wanted to be. However, the prince was greatly bothered by a problem he noticed. Many people tried to befriend the prince because of his good looks and family, and that disgusted him.
Why does the prince kind of look like us? Is it supposed to be our dad? Because it looks like it's got the same hair we do.
He most certainly wanted nothing to do with them, so he spent his life in solitude. Until one day,
Princess Samugi.
a princess came up to the prince, seeking his friendship, but he didn't want to befriend her at all. The prince thought, this princess is just like the others. He always looked annoyed when the princess spoke to him. However, the princess did not give up. Gradually, she melted the prince's icy heart.
Wait, are we the prince? Is she trying to melt my icy heart? Is she in love with me? Did we get it? Look, I mean, with the true ending is we can't. Look, game. If you gave me like a weird Samugi twist at the end, like I wouldn't be opposed, but I kind of would just because where the fuck's my Kasuga ending? I'm just saying. Do we get them both? Do we have like a? I'm just saying. This game is giving weird vibes, and I'm okay with it.
The prince was touched by her kindness and began to open his heart to her. But then, those who were jealous of their friendship suddenly became angry with the princess. The prince belongs to everyone. We won't let you keep him all to yourself. You're a nuisance to his highness. Just when the princess was about to step back out of consideration for the prince stood up and declared, "This princess is very dear to me. I will not allow anyone to harm her." The princess was so deeply moved by the prince admitting how he felt, he shyly offered her his hand, and they ran off together to live happily ever after.
Hold on a minute.
Yes, something on your mind?
Samugi smiled, closing the picture book she'd made. Your new fairy tale sounds very familiar, but that's not how it happened.
Oh my, was it not?
I sighed at Samugi's feeble attempt to feign ignorance. The story is based on when we were in middle school, right? You certainly took a lot of creative liberties.
My, I am so surprised to hear you remember how we met. I'm touched.
She conveniently ignored the part about her creative liberties. I turned to face her and sighed with exasperation. I wasn't going to just ignore my best friend's altered recollections. I began to recount how it really happened. Well, the way I remember it, Samugi.
Look at their little chibies!
So cute!
Good day, Tojo! It's quite a lovely day, isn't it?
Looks like she's back again.
It's the perfect weather for a picnic. How about the two of us have lunch outside?
Nope.
Oh, don't be like that. Come, let's go.
Hey, don't pull me! I'm so tired. Can't wait to get home.
Oh, Tojo!
Look, her little fucking chibi face! Stop it! It's so fucking cute! I just want to smoosh her cheeks. Stop it.
Would you like to join me for some delicious crepes? I know a place that packs theirs full of fresh cream.
Nope.
Don't be like that.
She's got a hold of my arm again. And what's with that maniacal smile?
If sweets are not your thing, I know a good place that has super spicy ramen, or we could do hot dogs. Let's go!
Go where? I haven't agreed to anything. Hey! I love Samugi. Samugi Kano. My life hasn't been the same since I met her. I worried about how I should react to her invitations, and her animated facial expressions baffled me. Up until I met her, my school life consisted of going to class and then promptly returning home. That was all. I barely spoke with anyone, even if they tried to have a conversation with me. Because those people always wanted to talk about the Tojo family. But Kano was different. That's why I had no idea how to react.
Good day, Tojo! I'm so glad you enjoyed the crepes yesterday.
Good day. Just because I didn't dislike them doesn't mean I enjoyed them.
How about we do pancakes next time? I know a super popular place that always has a line out the door.
I don't like waiting in line.
No problem. I can make us a reservation.
For some reason, Kano seemed happy to see that I didn't know what to say. I couldn't see what was so funny about that. but I guess it's better than a fake smile.
Hey, Tojo, let's have lunch again today. I've got these lovely simmered kabocha.
Kabocha.
Kano, don't you think it's time you stop that?
I looked up, startled by the nasty tone of voice. Little chibi Samugi is so fucking cute. Stop it. I saw several of our classmates staring at us. Their malicious gazes sent my heart rate up. I automatically looked back at Kano, and to my surprise, she had an amused smile on her face.
Did you hear that, Tojo? I could have sworn I just heard a baby crying.
To be more precise, her smile masked her aggravation.
Would you stop going on about acting as if you're somehow Miss Tojo's friend?
This is about me?
Just look at how annoyed Miss Tojo is with you.
I wouldn't say I'm annoyed. Our classmates accused Kano while I sat there bewildered. According to them, I belong to everyone, so she shouldn't expect any special treatment. So basically what's happening in the story is because I belong to everyone? That's gotta be it. But I had no clue what to do in that situation. Stupefied, I watched the scene unfold as Kano turned unflinchingly toward the girls. Then she spoke fearlessly.
So what you're saying is that Tojo has to always be alone, right?
I mean, that's basically what you're saying. What belongs to everyone belongs to no one. That's what that means, right?
You don't want Tojo to make any friends. That means you want her to be alone and live an isolated life at school. You want her to look back on her school days 10 or 20 years from now and say she never had a single friend. Isn't that right? We didn't say that. It's just we couldn't stand that Miss Tojo looks so annoyed.
All eyes turned to me when she said that. Why me? Everything happening all at once made me want to cry. Life, right there.
All right then, I'll do whatever Tojo wants. If she says she's truly bothered, then I swear I won't ever talk to her again. I won't even make eye contact. How does that sound to you?
Oh, she looks like she's got a little tear in her eye, like begging. Like, please don't say that. She looked anxious as she turned to me, clasping her hands together to hide her nervousness. My heart started to ache when I saw how she was holding her feelings back. Even though she could be so pushy when she invited me out, even though she could have won the argument with our classmates, she was afraid she wouldn't be able to talk with me again, wasn't she? Kana was definitely different than the others. She's not bothering me. The moment I muttered that, tears sprung to Kano's eyes and she flung open her arms and I love the little chibis, hugged me tight. She then lifted her head up and said,
"Oh, let's call each other by our first names starting today. My bestie Spacey, I'm so happy we're friends."
And that was that. From that day on, Samugi Kano officially became my school friend. That's what actually happened, remember? I didn't have to defend you or anything. You just won the argument.
Is that so? Well, let's just forget about the triviality.
Trivialities. It's trivialities. Why could my brain could not, wrap my head around that word? I've heard, it's not like I don't know trivialities before, but it's for some reason you say it or you hear it, but written down, you're like, triviality. There's a lot of motherfucking I's and vowels in that word. It was like, what the fuck was it? What was it the other day where I was like, my brain is looking at that word going, I know that word, but I can't, my mouth and my brain were like, nah, it's like when, okay, it's so fucking weird because it's not like, sometimes you come across a word and you're like, what? I've never heard that before. Or other times you come across trivialities. Yeah, okay. It's not that I've never heard that word before. I have no idea. But for some reason, maybe I've just never seen it written down where you're like, it's just bizarre. What the fuck was the word? Oh. Arthritic. Wasn't it arthritic? And it was like, brain could not. I'm like, dude, I know what arthritic is, and I've but for some reason, I just, my eyes and my brain were like, no, and my mouth was like, I know that word, but I don't know. I seriously think I'm getting dumber as I get older, because sometimes I'm just like, I literally can't read. I don't know. It's like you see a word and you know your brain knows how to say it, but your mouth is like, bleh. Nope. My brain and my body have a huge disconnect. It's weird. I felt a little bad for our classmates, who Samugi just called trivialities. What a wonderful walk down memory lane. It reminded me of the days when I wanted to talk with you and be your friend so badly. I wish I could tell my old self how happy I am now. Samugi's smile made me feel shy, and I couldn't help but avert my gaze. Why are we suddenly talking about this? It was such a long time ago. Yes, that's true. It's probably because I started getting nostalgic. Seeing how desperate the boys are reminded me of myself and how hard I worked to get to know you, Spacey. Plus, you act like a middle schooler when you're around them, Spacey. That's not true. I was very polite to you back then. Besides, they're nothing like you, Samugi. Well, the pushiness is actually kind of similar. Anyway, they don't listen to a word I say. Neither does Samugi sometimes. Whatever, you're totally different. Not alike at all. Samugi let out a giggle at my mutterings. It's true. I'm your friend while they're your suitors. Naturally, we don't feel the same way towards you. But in spite of that, it seems like you've been enjoying yourself lately, Spacey. What? Perhaps it's that you've grown accustomed to their rhythm, like you don't feel out of place when you're with them. Something about that still felt like a problem to me. It's not a picnic for me, you know. I'm sick of their constant ruckus day in, day out. And what else? They cause so much trouble. Now, we've been talking a lot more recently, but regardless, that doesn't mean I approve of them. I'm not going to succumb to their pushiness. Samugi smiled happily at me as I spoke passionately. Hey, Spacey, do you know you're actually pretty susceptible to being pushed around? Huh? In fact, wasn't I the one who had the upper hand in middle school? I knew exactly what she meant, so I couldn't argue back. Or perhaps I had always been aware that she had pushed me around. Samugi smiled at how astounded I was. Yes, you're vulnerable to getting pushed around, Spacey, but you're also compassionate and kind, and you always support someone if they open up to you. That's why no one can put anything past you. Compassionate, kind, easily pushed around. Samugi's words embarrassed me, so I turned away and refused to look at her. If only they had won that card game. I could have taught them what they need to know. Such a pity. What are you talking about? You had no intention of teaching them from the moment you chose to play cards. Samugi grinned at that. Yeah, I guess. But if one of them's going to be your husband, then they need to develop nerves of steel. And I can teach them how to do that. She clasped her hands together cheerfully, and I sighed slightly. Samugi, you're just as overprotective as Kasuga. Of course I'm overprotective. You're my one and only best friend, Spacey, which is why I will continue to watch closely as your romance blossoms. You're just in this for your own enjoyment. Oh, my, that's the bell. We better hurry back to class. Samugi said that almost like she was talking to herself and then hurried out of the terrace cafe. Hey, Samugi, wait for me! A few years ago, Kasuga was my only ally. Then Samugi came out of nowhere and broke down the barriers I had built. She made my world a little brighter. And now, there were the boys. Regardless of whether they would make headway as potential grooms or not, they were certainly making me change. I didn't know whether that was a good thing or a bad thing yet. But if love blossomed with one of them, as Samugi said, wouldn't my life change even more? Why are you staring off into space? Huh? Oh, it's nothing. Samugi tilted her head in confusion. I took a deep breath without her noticing. It wasn't that I was uninterested in broadening my horizons, but I can't imagine a romance. At least not now with one of them. When I met Samugi. Clear. Perfect timing. Alright, my guide closed. So, you have a Wisp message! Oh, so much inspiration. Today was so much fun. It's been a long time since we last chatted about middle school. That was truly a beautiful memory. There's no choices in this one, okay. Beautiful? It even inspired an idea for a brilliant new project. It'll be legendary. A veritable treasure chest bursting with cuteness. Hold it. I have a bad feeling about this. 4 brazen princesses. Princesses? Multiple? And a prince who's prickly but shy. I like how we're the prince. Excuse me? their heartwarming life together, but she marries her maid. But the prince marries the pauper. Kasuga. Samugi, with a little bit of lewdness. Don't add that. Come now, don't be shy. I'm not being shy. Samugi, please. Don't use me as creative fodder for your projects. Don't worry, it'll be fine. It's just fiction after all. That's not the problem. It'll be fine, I promise. I just need to let my imagination stretch its glittery wings a teensy bit. And then one day, this too will become a beautiful memory. No, it won't. I can hardly wait to start. Just the thought of passing it around an event has me too excited to sleep. Go to sleep, please, and come back to your senses. I never left them in the first place. Yes, you did. Now then, I'd best get working. These ideas won't put themselves on paper. I'll talk to you later. Samugi? Samugi! Forget a beautiful memory. This was already becoming an embarrassing one. We'll talk about it tomorrow in school. It'll be wonderful. I promise. I love that. Yeah, okay. Oh, look at that. I guess... Oh, you have to clear at least a second friend. Cool. So that's why you pick a board. So now we go to switch board and we go to Nayuta's board. And then we'll do his puppy dog waltz. Puppy dog waltz. Bubbly as ever, Nayuta has a pressing need to be useful. Sometimes this results in startling consequences. We're not actually going to start this event. We'll just load it and then we're going to stop here and then we'll start his thing in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.